In a world that rarely slows down, yoga has the potential to offer the treasure of pause. Across continents and cultures, from bustling cities to whispering villages, join us in a space created just for you, whoever and wherever you are. Global Oasis Yoga. Offering live stream and online classes for all levels of experience. Come join us in this tiny little studio we call Earth. Hi, and welcome to this tidy little practice meant to give you a full body reset. It's perfect for those moments when you're feeling a little stiff, a little sore, or maybe just want to wake up the body a little bit. We'll get a little bit of stretching done, a little bit of balance, and some strengthening poses. Hopefully this is one of those that you can return to again and again anytime you have a few moments in your day. I'm not going to use any specific props today, but if you know that a block or a bolster is useful to you, there will be some chances to utilize those, so grab those if you would like. We'll begin seated in Sukhasana. Perfect opportunity to use a bolster or a rolled up blanket and place it under your sit bones. Make sure that it's not under the tops of your thighs so that your knees can rest lower than your hips. Find yourself in an easy seat with the legs crossed, also known as Sukhasana. Sitting the spine up tall, reaching the crown of the head towards the ceiling. Take a moment, just close the eyes. Gather up your thoughts. Put aside the ones that you don't need on your mat with you right now. Begin to inhale and exhale through the nose. Allow the shoulder blades to reach towards one another gently on the back. Allow your collarbones to separate from one another. Begin walking the hands forward and find a gentle forward fold, drawing the chest towards the front of the room and keeping the gaze lifted to help your spine stay straight. Find whatever depth feels safe yet engaging. Walk the hands over to the right-hand side. Feel a lengthening in the left side body. You can even walk the fingertips of the left hand a little bit further than the right hand. Walk through center and over to the second side. Come back to the midline, walk the hands back towards the pelvis, place the hands behind you, lean back, and change the cross of your legs so that now your upward leg is on top. We're going to repeat that little sequence. So walk the hands forward. Again, gaze stays lifted. We're not rounding the head down or rounding the spine down. We're lengthening the spine. Walk the hands over to the right. Allow the left fingertips to reach a little bit further. Pass through center to the second side. Come back to center, walk the hands back towards the body. We are going to make our way into a tabletop shape. Couple of options to get there. You can place the hands to one side of the hips, uncross the legs, swing the legs around, and make your way there. Or you can plant the hands in front of you, use some momentum, roll over the knees, and find your tabletop position. We want our shoulders to be directly above the wrists and our hips directly above the knees here. We'll take a couple rounds of cat-cow. So what that looks like, if you're not familiar, is you begin by rounding the spine, tucking the tailbone, reaching the chin for the chest, separating the shoulder blades from one another on the back. Then as you inhale, allow the chest to drop in between the shoulders, arching the spine, lifting the sit bones towards the ceiling, and lifting your gaze slightly. This is a cow pose. As you exhale, find your cat pose again. Round the spine, tuck the tailbone, chin to chest. Inhale, find your cow pose, arching the spine, lifting the gaze slightly. 2 more rounds. Rounding the back, tucking the tailbone, chin to chest. Inhale to find your cow pose. One more round. Inhale to cow. And then allow your spine to come back into neutral, into your tabletop position. Child's pose is next. Push the hips back over the heels. Leave the arms outstretched in front of you. You can keep the knees at a shoulder width distance, or if you'd like, open the knees as wide as the mat. Allow the big toes to touch and drive the hips back towards the heels. A bolster between the backs of the thighs and the calves may also be useful in this position. If your knees feel like they would like a little bit of the pressure relieved. In your child's pose, roll the shoulders open, grip the mat with your fingertips, and just allow the lower back to release here. You can even create length in the vertebrae, between the vertebrae and the spine, walking the hands a little further forward, and resisting that by pulling the hips further over the heels. Lift the hips, find your tabletop position again. We will make our way to standing at the top of the mat. Tuck onto the toes, walk the hands back to the knees. You can also exit through downward facing dog if you're familiar with that. Lift up the knees, make your way to standing and to the top of the mat. We are now in Tadasana, or mountain pose. Concentrate on the crown of your head reaching for the sky. Lift the shoulders to the ears, draw the shoulders behind you, and then allow them to lower away from the ears, keeping the collarbones spread and slightly reaching the shoulder blades towards one another. Your tailbone is slightly tucked here, your core is engaged, and your weight is equally distributed between both feet. Inhale, reach the arms overhead. Gaze can follow the hands. Grab onto the left wrist with the right hand. Pull the shoulder blade up off the back body and take a side bend over to the right. Being careful not to bump the hips too far behind you or too far in front of you, keeping your body in the same plane. Inhale as you lift the arms back overhead and change the clasp to the other hand. Grabbing right wrist with left hand, pull the shoulder blade off the back and find your side bend. Keep the core tightly engaged here. Inhale the arms back overhead. Take the palm of the left hand just below the head and reach over and grab the left elbow with the right hand, stretching the back of the top of your arm here. Keep the tailbone slightly tucked. Changing sides. Right hand comes just below the head. Reach left arm across, grabbing the right elbow. Opening the shoulder and the back of the arm. Release that, lift the arms overhead again, gaze can follow. And as you exhale, swan dive, the arms out to the sides, hinging at the waist, coming into a forward fold. Bend the knees. Allow your abdomen to rest on the tops of the thighs. If you can keep that connection, you can begin to straighten the legs a little bit if you'd like. Wherever you land, allow the head to hang heavy. Feeling the vertebrae in the neck lengthen. Feeling some engagement just below the sit bones and the upper thighs, the hamstrings. We're going to be stepping back to a low lunge next. If you'd like to get there from downward dog, you can do that. Otherwise, bend the knees enough so that your hands can rest on the mat. And step the right foot as far as you can behind you. Lower down onto the right knee. If you have sensitive knees, you can roll up the side of your mat and rest your knee on a double thickness of the mat there. You can also roll it up from behind, either way. Again, lowering onto right knee. The left knee is stacked directly over the left ankle. If you feel stable enough, lift the torso and rest the hands on the left knee. From here, rock the hips forward, feeling lengthening in the right hip flexor, the front of the right thigh. The back toe can be, you can be turned onto the ball of the foot there, or you can flatten the back foot and press into the ground or the mat with the top of the right foot to help you with stability. Also, keeping your core engaged will help you feel stable as well. Low lunge, Anjaneyasana. Pull the hips a little bit back again. Plant the hands on the mat. Put weight in the right hand and see if you can open the left shoulder, twisting the left arm up towards the sky. Opportunity to use a block here. It might feel nice to rest the right hand on a block to give you a little bit more length there. lower the left hand. We're gonna make our way to side 2. Again, you can get there through a downward facing dog. You can also lift the right knee, just slide the left knee down and step the right foot forward. Press into the mat with the feet, lifting the torso, hands find the right knee, continuing to draw the collarbones away from one another, and rock forward just a little bit to lengthen that left hip flexor. Draw the hips back just a little bit. Left hand finds the mat and the right arm opens this time. Rolling the right shoulder open. Option to use that block here. You can use it on a lower setting too, or even flat. Exhale as you lower the right hand, making our way now back to child's pose again. So turn onto the ball of the back foot, lift the back knee to help you bring the knees back together. Walking the hands forward, driving the hips back over the heels. Knees can be together, or again, knees can be open wide here. Just resting in a balasana or child's pose. Lift the hips back to your tabletop. We are coming to seated next. Easiest way to get there is to allow the hips to drop off to one side and swing the legs forward. Extend the legs in front of you. Let's find a forward fold. Before we fold, sit the spine up tall. Concentrate on your sit bones. Make sure they are making equal contact with the mat and that you're not subconsciously leaning off to one side or the other. Might need to move some things out of the way to concentrate on that weight distribution there. Keeping the thighs and the calves and the ankles active, keeping those muscles engaged. Inhale, lift the arms overhead, and then as you exhale, finding your forward fold. Again, finding a safe depth here, making sure you feel some engagement, but not doing anything that would jeopardize your spine in any way. So again, we're trying not to round the spine and drop the head towards the knees, but we're thinking about drawing the chest forward here. You can grip the mat with your fingers to help you get a little bit of traction, lengthening out of the lower back. Walk the hands back towards the pelvis. Bring the soles of the feet together into a butterfly pose. We're going to do a quick opening of the inner thighs here before we lie down. Again, drawing the chest forward, finding a gentle forward fold here. You may even put a little bit of pressure on the knees with the elbows to help you stretch a little bit deeper. Sitting back up, use the hands for support to lift the knees back together. Straighten the legs, let's lower all the way down to the back. I like to make a C shape with my back, rounding the spine, and then as I lower, making contact with the ground with each vertebrae one at a time. Slowly working the core here as we lower. Once you get to the ground, bend the knees, plant the soles of the feet as close as they possibly can get to the pelvis. Keep the knees shoulder width distance apart. Press into the ground with the lower spine. Making contact there, allow the shoulders to relax. And then begin peeling the lower back off the mat, vertebrae by vertebrae, lifting the hips, squeezing the glutes. As you do this, think of driving the knees towards the top of the mat. Building strength in the back body, keeping the glutes engaged. Weight stays in the shoulders, not allowing the weight to go to the neck here. If you'd like to, and if it's accessible, you can bring the hands to clasp under the back body here, and then tuck the shoulder blades together a little bit more underneath you to lift the hips a little bit higher. If that feels tricky today, just keep the hands on the mat. Keep the forearms on the mat, pressing in. We'll be here for another 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Gently lowering vertebrae by vertebrae all the way down to the mat. Once your lower back hits the mat, extend the legs long, taking them about mat width distance. Turn the palms face up or face down. Either one is totally fine. Keep the arms at the sides. Allow the shoulders to relax. We'll take a brief final resting pose here, Shavasana. As we do this, we want to scan our body and try to figure out where our muscles are engaged, where they're working to hold us in this place. When you notice a muscle that's working to hold you in this place, try to make it relax. Try to release any resistance that you have there and find full, complete relaxation. Just for a few minutes. Think of this as a buffering zone between a nice little practice on the mat and returning to real life. A few moments of stillness and relaxation here in silence. Begin to wiggle the fingers and the toes just a little bit, bringing a little bit of life back into the body. Circle the wrists, circle the ankles. Bend the knees, place the soles of the feet on the ground briefly. Reach for the ground with the lower back, pressing into the mat, and then lift the knees towards the chest. Lift the head, lift the chest. See if you can grab your feet or your shins or your ankles. Giving yourself a nice big hug. Roll onto one side and press your way back up into seated. Cross legs, hands on the knees if you'd like. A few more breaths here as we wind down. Thank you for practicing with me today. I hope you enjoyed this flow. Again, Hopefully it's one of those that you can return to over and over. If you'd like to repeat it, just subscribe below so you know where to find it. Enjoy your day. Thank you.